Young is true, but it's a good thing. You know, there's some real experience in those young players. Haley Rubino comes in. She's a Virginia Player of the Year. She was a high school All-American, and she's come in and lit it up in here already. She's doing great things for us. She has a big jump serve. She ball handles really well. She's a champion beach player as well, so she has great skills. And so, you know, you've got something like that. Then you have Jasmine Tan, who comes in. She's played with the Australian junior national team. Junior volleyball isn't quite as good over there, but she's a real talent. And then just great depth in this group with these freshmen. Morgan Schreckler and Nicolette Clark both come from East Valley Juniors, which is one of the best clubs in the country, out of Phoenix, out of Tempe. And so you're just seeing a lot of experience. And Kayla Long is a freshman libero from Tucson, and she's leading the way with her mouth in here. She talks, and the gym's always loud, and it's really unique to see freshmen kind of throw that freshman role away and just go for it in here. And maybe it's because there's so many, I'm not sure, but they're playing good ball. We've scrimmaged a couple of times already. My impressions would be that I'm happier than I thought I would be at this point. We had 12 practices last week, and I would say 11 of them were really good. And with the diversity and youth in this group, that could have been one or two that were really good, you know. So we feel really good about it. You know, we had a really tough role to fill in Julia Warren graduating, and I think Haley Rubino does that. She's all of that. I mean, really exciting player to watch. A huge jump serve, and then you know, you've got Devin Sowers and Cassie House, but Lauren is really ready to go. She's absolutely dominated through the first week of practice, and she had a great spring season, and I think she's ready to take the big hitting position and go with it. And then Carly Bedingfield transferred in from Long Beach State, and you know, she's 6'3½". She's a huge block at the net, and I think she's going to add a lot to our defense too. And really, to characterize this group, the defense is where it's at. We're going to extend rallies. We're going to be fun to watch because there's going to be a lot of balls coming up and a lot of long plays, because we can do that. Ashley returns as our lone senior, and she had 500-plus digs, one of the biggest defensive seasons ever in school history last year, and she returns this year for an even bigger one. And we're going to set up our defense to funnel some balls at her too, because she's that good. And Mercedes Pacheco returns also in a defensive and libero spot, and she's in the best shape of her life. You know, she's another local. She's a St. Pius player, but I mean, she's cut and ripped and ready to go, and really been a inspiration in here the first week, just how much she's improved and the fitness level she brought into camp as well.
When you talk about all the freshmen like that, is it more of they're a very confident group, or as opposed to, like, you know how some freshmen might come in like, I don't even know if I'm going to play this year, I'm just trying to get the hang of it. Or is this group, are they like, all of them are kind of like the ones that people relied on at their respective schools, and they have a lot of confidence?
Well, yeah, I mean, they've all had, you know, I haven't mentioned Sarah Lobo, who's from Miami, who was a Miami all-Miami player, which is a huge community. She's one of our setters. You know, Danica Rowan is a kid who doesn't have a lot of club experience, but in basketball and volleyball, she was leading Thatcher to state championships. I mean, and has that kind of experience, and she's from Thatcher, Arizona. Abby Willison is with us. She's from Sandia High School, but she's a great beach player, but has actually and decided she wanted to play indoors and has brought a lot. I think they've all been really good where they're at, and they've had good coaching. And so I think it's easy for them to come in and train well. They know what training at a high level is already. And I think one of you said it before, but freshmen don't always know what they're supposed to or not supposed to do. And right now they're doing a lot more good things. And, you know, it happened. Last year, Stanford had 4 freshmen in the lineup, and I think they finished maybe 3rd in the Pac-12, and then they win the national championship because they get in postseason and those freshmen don't know they're supposed to lose and decide to win, you know. And so I just think they're well trained and they've played a ton of ball because most of them are in clubs or places where they've had so much success that they're just used to it. You know, I think that 3 or 4 of these kids, freshmen that are here, will play a lot right away. I think they're that good. And we returned 4 starters, but Lauren even started part of the time. So we returned 5 kids with starting experience. And then Carly started her freshman year at Long Beach State. So, you know, everybody thinks we're so young, but there's actually 6 kids that have had starting experience. So I don't think it's crazy, and I don't think anyone's expectation should be any lower. And obviously I put myself on the block saying that, but I would expect this team to really fare well and be competitive with everyone just because of the ball handling and defensive skills they have.
I mean, you know, Cassie and Julia, I mean, 3 seniors who played over 100 matches each for you. I mean,
yeah.
How much of a transition is it and void to fill?
Well, you know, obviously I respect everything that they did for the program and what they're doing. You know, Julia's signed a contract and Devin's on the verge of signing to go play in Europe and all of that. And but, you know, I think sometimes change is good, and I think that the team has really embraced that. And, you know, it's kind of interesting. I've been equating it to when I came here, I didn't have any seniors in 2007. So Jeannie Fairchild, Sarah Quasigo, Gail Tripp, Tana Taylor were the 4 juniors. And so they were seniors for a couple of years. And then they graduated in 08. And we improved a lot, but everybody was like, oh my gosh, what are you gonna do? You know, Gail was Defensive Player of the Year, and Jeannie was Player of the Year. You know, what are you gonna do? And the next year we made the NCAA tournament. And I think young people assume roles and step into roles when they open up, and they do kind of what's expected of them, and how they embrace that, and you know, really tells the tale of how well they do with it. But you know, 5 years ago, if you had said Ashley Kelsey would be your leader, you know, I can say this because Ashley knows it, I would have laughed. She is as good a leader right now in here as we've ever had. It's amazing. And so I think people step up and do what they need to in situations. And you know, a year ago Mercedes was worried about her playing time. Now she's worried about making this team win. You know, and it shows in how hard she's worked. She's our captain in the weight room. You know, so the question marks for us really have more to do with staying healthy. Carson's doing a great job. You know, she's returned from her knee injury. She's doing a great job, but she has to continue to improve. You know, those are the things that will impact the overall success. You know, we didn't go 16-16 last year because Julia or Cassie or Devin let us down. We did because we had a couple bad injuries. And they've recovered from those. They're doing well. Ja'Kaylee Clark looks phenomenal out here. And Carson's getting better every day. And so, you know, from all that, you know, nothing but optimism. And these kids have been as good of a group to work with as we've ever had here. I mean, they just come in and get about it. You can hear them over there now, and they ask good questions, they challenge us, but then they do it. And there's no, I have really high expectations for them. I think they're neat kids, and I think they're doing the right thing. I know when you talk to these kids, they talked about chemistry, and it's early to talk about chemistry, but you know, they came in the gym and immediately clicked. And you know, somebody doesn't go for a ball or something, it's not me saying that's unacceptable. It's someone else in the group saying that this year, you know, which is really nice. So you can focus on teaching and they can focus on working hard. And so there's just a real different vibe right now that's youthful and fun, but still a really good quality of people and work. So.
Did you comment on your schedule?
Yeah, our schedule is a little different. We cut back a tournament for reasons, a home tournament for reasons of, I think everyone knows the financial shape we're in. And so we're a team that can get money to go places and play. So we chose to take another trip that would burden us less than having another home game, unfortunately. Hopefully we can get that back in the future. But we open at Iowa State. We're the premier match there. They're a great team. They're receiving votes already, and it'll be a match the kind of match that we need to play. They'll have anywhere from 3,000 to 5,000 people there, and it'll just be, they do volleyball right up there, and it'll be great for us to get that on weekend one. Weekend two, we're down the road at UTEP. That's a what do I want to call it? We owed them a return, and we wanted to play somewhere closer one of the weekends. We do pick up North Dakota down there, which is a really good team. They're vastly underrated. They were in the tournament last year, and they're really good. I mean, I've watched film, and that's going to be a good match for us in weekend two. In weekend three, all three teams for the tournament here are solid. I would say Portland's maybe the strongest because they're from the WCC, and the WCC was loaded last year. And then weekend four, we cut back a little bit because if you look, we open conference with Colorado State, and I think they're going to be the best team in the conference this year. So, you know, you kind of got to gauge your schedule on that. You know, we don't play a full double round robin, and we're missing our single matches are UNLV and Air Force, and so we're really top heavy on the conference schedule too. So I think Colorado State will be a top 15 or even a top 10 team this year. They're all seniors, and they're going to be really good. You know, Boise won the conference last year, but they've had some changes, and I really anticipate Colorado State getting after it with, I think, 4 seniors starting, and just a really good team coming back. But, you know, I think there's good balance, too. You know, we went up there last year, minus our starting setter, minus a starting middle, and we had them down 2-0 up there, you know. So I think it can be done, and I think it's going to be good. And I'm hoping, like we talked about earlier, these freshmen just don't know any better, you know. But overall, the schedule, this is a 2-year project right now. And I think the schedule allows them to get better without overwhelming them. And I think that's really important. I think that there are the good matches in there. Colorado State twice, the North Dakota, the Iowa State, Boise will be good again. You know, there's enough good matches in there that they're gonna feel that too. So, and there's enough matches in places we go where they have big crowds and stuff, so they have to experience that kind of pressure as well.
So you had to give up a home tournament type deal because it was cheaper to just go play one.
Well, that was a personal choice. No one in administration told me that. That was a personal choice. I don't. But yeah, I think rather than burdening us even more, it was better to go somewhere, have a room and cash incentive over trying to put together another event, paying teams to come in, all of that. So, you know, it's not something we want to do permanently, but right now it was my feeling that that was best, and I actually think with all these young kids, to get them away and get them some bonding time and stuff will be good as well.
What's the room and cash? Can you explain more how that works?
Well, just like in any sport, well, not in any sport, basketball, volleyball, football, You know, our incentives aren't as big as theirs, but there's more and more of that going on. We do pay some teams to come in here as well. So, you know, you might get you might get someone saying, you know, we'll give you all your rooms, we'll give you flights, we'll give you a $10,000 cash incentive, whatever. And that just depends on where you go. You know, last year for beach with Hawaii, we had a flight incentive. The year before, indoor went there and we had a flight incentive. You go somewhere like Nebraska and you're getting a Nebraska, Washington State. Some of the schools are going up. You're getting a $10,000, $12,000 payout plus all your stuff paid for. So there are those opportunities to have that as well. And I think those are good. And we do that. We have an allotment of money to bring teams in, take care of them, whatever. To, you know, I think you mentioned earlier we don't have the big name in here. You know, most years we have a top 10 team at home, and we didn't pursue that this year. A, because we were so young, and B, because we didn't want to do that kind of payout this year. Will we do it in the future? Absolutely. That is something we like. It's good for our fans, and we certainly have no fear doing it. We've done it over and over and over again. Plus, we love the big crowds. So, anything else, Mr. Late?
Has it been a big beneficial to have beach volleyball in the other season?
Oh, yeah. I do. I do think it's been beneficial. I mean, I talked about Lauren Tweedy before you came in, but I think she's a kid who benefited big time from it, because in the beach season, she got thrown into a position where she was in one of our rotations that needed to win for us to be successful. And so it put a lot of pressure on her, and she had to step up as a freshman. And now she's come in here as a sophomore, and she's tearing it up in here. I mean, in the first week, she probably won every drill. And that doesn't happen. Usually people will take a few points off because they're tired, whatever. She wants to win everything, and she was winning everything. And I think that's where we see the improvement, in that she got a full year of play last year. And then in the fall, she started part of the time when Julia Warren went down for the 7 or 8 matches, whatever. But then in the spring, she got thrust into that role of, we need your point to win matches. So she had to step up, and I think she's brought that back in and done really well. Victoria Sprague, we took her outside just to get her some more experience and some more touches on the ball, and she's so much calmer. She's handling the ball better. Her leadership skills are much better. And for a big kid out in the sand, that probably wasn't a super fun experience the first time, but I think she got better at it, and it's added a lot to her game. I mean, she can step in and set a ball, she can pass the ball, she's playing better defense, and understands the value of it, that maybe in indoor where you just play roles, you don't always understand that. In outdoor, there's nobody to turn around and look at. It's just there. And so I do think we've benefited from that, and I think we've benefited from the maturity of it, that there isn't someone behind you to say, oh, you should have gotten that, or it's you and your partner, and that's it. And so I think that's added more and more, I said it last year and even more this year, to the maturity of the group. Good? Thank you.